In the far distant past of Northern Europe, in the deep forests, in the depths of the rivers, in the unknowable peaks of the mountains, an ancient people devised stories to explain the world around them and to understand life and death. These incredible stories became the saga of the Ring, a story that fascinated the composer Richard Wagner. He set that story of these ancient gods, gods who were as flawed as humans were and were constantly at war with each other and creating trouble in the world. He set it in 4 operas that took 20 hours to perform. But many people feel that he lavished the greatest part of his genius on those sections of the operas that were for orchestra alone. No voices. And we're going to play for you 2 of those wonderful sections tonight. Our first piece is The Bride of the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie are all sisters. They are the daughters of Wotan, the king of the gods. And they are fierce and beautiful warrior maidens who fly around on enormous white horses and swoop down into the battlefields to gather up the heroes who have fallen courageously in battle and to bring them up to heaven, to Valhalla, to live with the gods. This is fierce and wild music and has been used for many commercials, movies, and sports events. It remains Wagner's most famous piece. Our next piece is Siegfried's Rhine journey. The love of Siegfried and Brunhilde is at the center of the tragedy of the Ring. Brunhilde, the bravest, the most courageous of all of the Valkyrie. She has been cast into a deep spell by her father for disobeying him. She is in an endless sleep surrounded by a ring of fire. She can only be rescued by the bravest man in the world. And that man is Siegfried. He finds her, he crosses through the fire circle, he kisses her, they fall in love. But they have to bid each other farewell because Siegfried must leave to carry out the brave deeds that have been foretold for him. They say goodbye. He sets off down the beautiful Rhine River, playing his golden horn in music that is so inspiring and so beautiful, not knowing that this courageous journey will lead him to the end of his life. The composer Anton Bruckner was one of the greatest voices of the 20th century, writing music of austere grandeur and great nobility. His 4th symphony, my favorite, is a beautiful combination of power and innocence, tenderness, and walls of magnificent sound. Bruckner had a very simple life. He was an extremely devout Catholic, lived in a village that was poor and simple. That background gave him a great love of music, but it was one man in particular who set him on his way to the magnificent pieces he wrote, and that man was Richard Wagner. When Bruckner heard the works of Richard Wagner, it was his epiphany and set him on the path of his great 9 symphonies. We hear in his music his surroundings, the simple Austrian village where he lived amidst amazing scenic splendor, the gentle Ländler waltzes that he heard every day, the sturdy vigor of the country people he lived with. All of this translated into some of the most personal and beautiful music we have. The music is grand, from the opening horn solo by our solo horn, Jacek Muzik, through this mixture of mysticism and love of nature, moving slowly but always taking us forward to the very dramatic and massive ending. It is a thrilling symphony, and we hope you will enjoy it.